Well, I reckon this is a pretty decent view to wake up to on your 70th birthday. So let the fun begin. As it was my birthday, I didn't really want to walk around with the camera all day, which is a bit selfish on my part, so I apologise. But I did want to spend the day with Mel. She's 70 later in the year, and I thought it'd be nice if we could just spend some time in Beccles town centre because she hadn't really seen it. So that's what we did. Good access for those with mobility scooters, and a really nice surprise at night because Chris turned up with their granddaughter Aria, and they stayed overnight and went back to the Marina the next day with us. All in all, a lovely day. On our cruise back from Beccles, we found steam issuing from the cooling water outlet again. This surprised us because over winter we'd had the main circulating pump changed. I was now questioning the raw water pump and decided that I wasn't going to leave the Marina again until the impeller had been changed. However, this was much more difficult than realised because of the extremely limited clearance. I have about 1/4 of an inch between the cover and the bulkhead. So I left it for the Marina to do, and the mechanic down there made a superb job, and now we're ready to go again. One of our favourite morning walks is past the Somerleyton brickworks along a track that eventually leads to Somerleyton railway station, both the new and the old, and both worth a look. There was only so much cleaning we could do during our enforced layover in the Marina, and we were stir crazy, time to leave. So we headed to St Olaf's for the treat of having a pump out done, which certainly broke up the boredom that we'd had experienced over the last 3 or 4 days. Even the new cut looked interesting for once. To celebrate our newfound freedom, we decided we'd carry on to Reedham, one of our favourite venues for an overnight stay, and of course a meal at the Lord Nelson. This is the first time this year that Alfie and I make this familiar early morning walk and explore some of the sites. Last year this was the site of a pizza caravan. Now what exciting work's going on here and what will be revealed this year remains to be seen. It's always amazing just how close the industry and the residential properties entwine as they fight for space along the riverbank. Wardy's Way is named after Chris Wardy, a parish councillor who fought hard and worked with the landowner to re-establish the footpath that had fell into disrepair some 20 years before. He's worked with the landowner and the Broads Authority and now provided a path that gives access on the old Wherryman's Way to the river and allows visitors to enjoy the local wildlife that exists throughout the year down here. In the distance you can just make out the Reedham ferry, and is it the Ferry Inn, I believe? I might be wrong on that. Alfie loves to explore down there, knows never leaving the ground for long. Further along here it looks like signs of reed harvesting, but I'm not sure because it's such a small patch. All too quickly it seems, we're back to where we started and ready to explore further. Now this magnificent vessel is 2 years older than me, built in 1953 and absolutely gleaming and perfect in every way. As I had the opportunity to explore it further, I found it to be the perfect example of maintaining the old and combining it with the new. This is certainly a craft worthy of further exploration.
I fell in and drunk it, yeah, I don't recommend that, yeah.
No. One in the reeds, one in the river, yeah.
I fell in at Log Key right in front of the sewer outlet. I didn't recommend that, yeah. I sail it, yeah. Yeah. Out of the ones that the 8 that's left up here, I sail 7 of them. Yeah, we'll have a hatch up, the gate out already, like, you know. We got about 50 yards from the bridge. I think we're going to have to drop the mast. Little shit Sherlock, the bridge that went over top of me as we were coming through. Yeah.
That's a regular, yeah. But they can do that on a regular basis. Yeah. Come on up here. We'll take about 3 minutes.
No, if we were coming up this way, heading that way, you know, you literally have to be sort of tacking probably with the motor just to make any headway. Yeah. All the sort of like the niceties of being able to sort of manoeuvre in sort of tight spaces. Okay. You know, it's got a bow and a stern thruster, and it's got, it's got a big diesel engine, and yeah.
But was she then donated to the trust or something?
No. What the story was is she was built initially just after the war, and it was built basically as a bit of a job creation scheme.
We must thank Mark for kindly inviting us aboard to carry on filming. These schematics will help you orientate the upper and lower decks, and the machinery space with the twin Perkins engines sits beneath the saloon. Okay, let the tour begin.
he said, so I'm getting to 80, he said, I'll give it to you. So, well, he did actually give it. I did pay something for it, obviously. But trouble is, well, you can put it in the water.
Oh, really? You're right, the galley is lovely.
And on the stern of the model, by the seat, there's a card there that tells you who made it. He might well not be with us anymore. Oh, you're close, that's good.
The forward stateroom and Mark's private quarters. I've seen less well-equipped, expensive hotel rooms.
Yeah, that was another thing with the heating. What heating?
This is the well-equipped aft cabin for guests, including shower, toilet and wash basin. And these stairs to the right lead up and over the machinery space.
I had to have mahogany or teak, but I couldn't find one. But for the people that use the back cabin, it's something they can...
With the onboard filming all finished, Mark was going to leave and go down to Alton Broad. So we'd arranged that he would come up to where we were, turn his vessel there, and we'd get some good footage to round it all off. Alas, that never happened, and we'll tell you why in a minute. You find us repositioned behind Vanessa. It turns out that when Mark started the engines, one of them overheated, so he immediately shut down and started to investigate. All the normal routes were checked, like the water inlet, the filters for the inlet, and could find no blockages throughout the entire pipework up to the raw water pump. Mark eventually pulled the impeller on the raw water pump. Remember why we were confined to the Marina? Well, here's what happens. The impeller was absolutely shot and incapable of pulling the water up into the engine, therefore no cooling. So, he replaced it and all was well afterwards. It was late before we finally got Mark's boat running, and the Keymasters graciously allowed us to stay one more night, particularly as we'd moved our boat to allow overnight mooring for the 3 big boats that were waiting to depart for Seaside, or Saltside as I believe it's called. The next morning we enjoyed a nice breakfast at the post office before Mel finally gave in to temptation and accepted Mark's invitation to tour Vanessa. Took us all of 2 seconds to get on it and about 2 hours to get off, but eventually she had to come back to our little boat. Mark departed to Alton Broad a few hours later than expected, and within about half an hour we had also embarked on our journey back to the Marina. Reedham never fails to surprise. There's always something going on. For a quiet little place, it's very busy and you can always spot the unusual. Seeing Vanessa and touring her was a real pleasure, a real treat, and I'm sure we'll be doing it again one day in the not too distant future. Well, I guess that's it for this one, guys. We're back in the new cut, boring. And no, it doesn't have a sharp 90-degree bend in it. This is just us trying the new 360 camera and not getting on too well with it. We'll see you for the next one. Whether it be boat or caravan or both, who knows. But we'll see you again soon. Take care. If you feel so inclined, a like and subscribe are always welcome.